Any questions, folks?
Yeah. Yes, obviously, like such as PR, social media has kind of a long lead process, and they're both valuable. But in in terms of what was presented today, what is the best way to extract these either short or long leads in terms of that whole social media stream?
You know, interesting you say that. My perspective is that social media is actually can be, and I'm thinking about Twitter, which is real time, can be very, very short leads. So we were given a demo about 6 months ago to a company called Silverpop, which I think is also here on the East Coast. And we were going through the demo, and their VP of sales says, hey, look us up. Look up our record in your database. So we switched over to Silverpop. We showed them the Twitter. And somebody just 10 minutes before was tweeting, I'm considering different marketing automation solutions like Silverpop, Eloqua, you know, Marketo. The VP of sales says, hold on, runs and gets one of the salespeople and says, follow up with this. So social media can be really short term. I think there is a long-term perspective, which, you know, to simplify, I view it as being the marketing perspective, which is nurturing, creating content, all the things that Dharmesh talked about, which I very much believe in as a way to really build a pipeline. You know, my salespeople, maybe yours are different, are not interested in anything that takes more, that looks more than 30, 60 days out, right? They want results today. So making it really easy for them to survey what's happening, what's been said, who are the key people, and notifying them of compelling business events, I think, is a short lead opportunity. Because all that social media really means, not all that it means, one of the things that it means is that people, it's more transparent. People you want to sell to are much more visible today on the internet than they ever were before. Right? They have LinkedIn accounts. What does that tell you? Well, it tells you where they work today. It tells you where they used to work. It tells you who they know. If they're on Twitter, they're telling you every day what they're interested in. What a great opportunity to engage them and say, hey, you're interested in solving this problem. I have a solution for you. They're blogging. So the flip side of the inbound marketing is that all of our companies and all of our people are creating information out there every day. Now, the key question is, how do you get that information to your salespeople to make them more productive, whether it's an lead qualification effort, whether it's an account management effort, whether it's post-sales. And we'll talk with Chip later on about some of those use cases, whether it's, you know, generating pipeline or renewing customers or upselling or cross-selling.
So do you have a process for extracting that? I mean, do you sift through daily or weekly, or
yeah,
how does that
good
work?
question. And we'll see the output, but ours is basically a big search engine that sits in the cloud that's constantly reading in all the Twitter output, all Facebook, LinkedIn, 25,000 news sources, you know, traditional sources of information like Reuters for revenues, Capital IQ, Business Week for business information. And our application is doing that in real time all the time. And then the question is, what's relevant out of all that information? And our application extracts and says, for you, because you sell IT outsourcing, this is what's relevant for you. Now, for you over there, you're selling HR solutions. That's relevant. For you guys at SugarCRM, you want to know anything that has to do with, you know, marketing and CRM and selling. So it's really a tailoring of all that information. But underneath it is a huge data store of real-time aggregated information of what's happening on the live web.
Okay.
Most of the clients that you list up there were B2B. Do you have any B2C clients?
Our focus is really B2B. And that's the short answer.
More questions?
I think there's one up here.
Yes, Umberto. Basically, one of the things that we're doing, we're going from, I don't get it, we're going from being product salespeople, and we're going back to, I guess we all remember, we're going back to having to be solution sellers. Mm-hmm. So could I, as managing that new business development and getting my salespeople jazzed about going to talk to new markets, we could look at trends, we could look at industries, and we could look at some of those CBIs that are popping into those markets. And now, when my salespeople, when I tell them that they got to go and do these exactly right, I don't have the time, I'm too busy with the quota that you gave me doing this, that, and the other thing. Yep. So we could work with something like your application and really see where some trends are. And I'm trying to go after some new businesses. I could really work with that tool and now say, okay, here's what I want you to do, here's the talk points that we go in
Yep.
and start to engage, because they're not going to all buy right away.
That's
So
right.
that's what I'm seeing.
That's
You can
right.
help us get back into that solution selling mode where we got to listen first,
Yep.
identify where the low-hanging fruit is.
Yep.
The other thing that I have to do with my people is, because we were product salespeople, we've got to be best friends with that one person. We want to go back into our customer base and go, why?
Yep.
We want to go walk down the hall and say, hey, I talked to the CFO because we read about something like that. So
Yep.
I like to really follow up with you on that, because it could move my whole momentum to
Yep.
the next stage.
And what you're going through is very common. I mean, the reality is if you're a product salesperson and now all your product information is available on your website, what the hell are you doing? What's your value? I mean, either you're out of a job today, you're going to be out of a job soon. If you can't have a relevant conversation with a customer that helps educate them, which requires that you have some basic understanding of their business, because if I know nothing about your business, how can I be relevant to you, right? Then all that you're doing is say, go to my website, figure out what you're going to buy, and call me to place an order. You don't need salespeople for that. There's e-commerce, right? Do it all online. So it's very, very common for companies that have relied on, well, we sell features and functions. The reality is the customer doesn't want to talk to a salesperson feature and functions. They want to go online and do self-service research. So salespeople have to move from being product-centric and order-taking to really adding some value. And that value is usually some kind of solution selling, some kind of ability of saying, hey, I understand your business, I can help you. The reality is buyers are not as smart as they think. They come to our website and they go, oh, you know, I know what I need this and that. And oftentimes they're missing half of the value you can bring to them. So really good salespeople say, you know, I understand that's what you're thinking, but here are all the other things we can do for you. Here's the value that we can bring. But they can only do that if they have a basis of knowledge. If your prospect just spent 30 minutes educating themselves on your website and your salesperson knows nothing about the prospect, you have an imbalance. Prospect is very educated, very smart, spend a bunch of time, and Joe knows nothing about the prospect. First of all, the prospect is not going to be happy to talk to Joe because he's going to go, you know nothing about me. How are you going to add value? And secondly, Joe is a disadvantage. Now, if Joe knows more about that prospect, knows what the prospect is saying on the social web, sees their LinkedIn profile, knows what's going on about the company, then it's a balanced conversation. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to help sales regain some of that balance by providing them with relevant information. Any more questions? I think we are good. I hope I was on time and able to bring us back.
Well, thank you. Join me in thanking Umberto.